So Penny just watched The Sopranos for the first time, the first season only, and we're going to talk about it. And this is my first time watching this for like 20 years probably.
Okay.
So
I'm a big fan of The Sopranos.
People have kept telling you to check it out, and even I have said, we need to sit down and watch this sometime. But yeah, what do you think of it so far in the first season?
I think it's the best TV series. Do you remember I used to say something like this? Like, this is the best show
the
ever?
best show I've ever watched.
Yes, because
that's how you feel right now?
Because that's how I feel right now, but I need you to remind me of, like, if I made this comment to other TV shows to make a comparison.
I don't think you ever said anything of this is the best, this TV series. I know you said The Shawshank Redemption is the best movie.
Oh, yeah, there are a lot of best movies that I've watched, but I think this is, like, my favorite. I don't even think one of my favorites, but, like, my favorite.
Oh, number one. Okay, and we're only in the first season, so we'll see how that goes. So I think it's interesting. It opens with Tony going to Dr. Melfi for the first time. So what do you think of their dynamic?
I think that is what I like the most about the show is, the conversation between Tony and Dr. Melfi. I guess it shows Tony as from the start as someone who seems to be a powerful in a powerful position in the gang, and then him not realizing that he's got problems.
Well, yeah, it's basically the tough guy who's going to therapy.
Yeah.
What's going on with these anxiety attacks? Since it's not medical, it's gonna be mental, right?
And that he storm out and scream at her every single time, be like, I am not coming back.
It also has her fascination of him as a patient, really. I mean, she's got that weird fascination of like this guy who murders people, who is like a capo.
Is that hard to understand?
No,
I don't think,
it's her fascination, and him needing, like, especially for a woman that he's got his mother issues, which this season really explores. Yeah, it's like fascinating, and I'm gonna like juxtapose like me watching this when I was like not even 20 years old and now as like over 40. Okay. So I've got different feelings about how I perceived this show then and how I perceive it now.
Okay.
So we'll go through some of the characters, okay? So there's Christopher Moltsanti. He's just Carmella's cousin, but he always calls Tony his uncle.
Oh, I didn't know he was Carmella's cousin.
Yeah, they don't really dive into it. He always calls Tony his uncle, but he's basically, he's Carmella's cousin.
Okay.
Like, gene-wise. Uh-huh. This season kind of explores him. He like kills his first person. He comes to terms with like wanting to be more well-known and everything. So what do you think of Christopher?
I don't hate him. It's just kind of an interesting character.
He's like the young hothead.
Yeah, it definitely is. Got a big mouth and like probably don't think very straight. And you could tell that, he is impulsive and irrational at times. I feel like...
You say you're nervous when you see him on screen.
Because he got a big ass mouth and he's just like wanting to do these things that I'm really concerned. I'm worried that he might get wiped out like during one of these.
Well, Uncle Junior almost kills him, but then Livia, Tony's mom, like keeps him from doing it because he like installed her windows one time. That's what kept him alive.
I like this boy. I think he's always like loyal and open to Tony. Yeah. So that way, like Tony does like keep a pulse on him and prevent him from doing anything that's not like approved.
Yeah.
I feel good about this character so far.
So what do you think of Uncle Junior?
Uncle Junior. I feel like this is an insecure old man.
I think everyone in this show is insecure in one way or another.
Yes, but I feel like, I don't know if this is even correct, but I feel like he does not really have what it takes to be
the boss.
The boss.
Yeah, well, I mean, he becomes boss, but only in name only, and then Tony's actually running everything to kind of but then he kind of finds out later on.
Yes, so. and the thing is, I think he feel like he should, or he has every right to be the boss.
Yeah.
And I don't think he realized he doesn't really have all the quality, or he doesn't realize...
He's a little too gung-ho, it seems like. like he's trying to kill someone at Artie Bucco's restaurant, and he's trying to like talk him out of it. And then Hesh, Tony's friend, and he's trying to like pretty much like charge him for all the back taxes that he hasn't paid. So
yeah, but I mean, it's an interesting character. You would need that to like kind of go against Tony.
Yeah, and he has his right hand man Mikey, who's his version of.
Hate that.
You hate Mikey? Okay.
Hate Mikey from the beginning, and kind of knew that he was gonna die anyways, and he did die, and it felt like closure.
Well, yeah, he becomes boss of the DeMeo crime family, who after Jackie April's death. Jackie April is basically just a placeholder because the actual DeMeo boss is in prison.
Oh, okay.
So Livia, Tony's mom, yeah, she takes him to the whole part of a section of the season is him taking her to a retirement home.
Yes.
And yeah, and basically she's just trying to kill Tony the whole season through, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, he's like, someone should do something about him. And yeah, what do you think of Livia?
Well, I find Livia funny at first. I mean, even until before the last episode, I still find her kind of funny. It kind of remind me of my own mom. Who is like unreasonable. I guess in my culture, it's also is the same way of thinking. If the parents are in a nursing home, it means their kids abandoned them. So
yeah.
It's like considered like a shame if you're in a nursing home. And something my mom always says is, once you're in a nursing home, you don't have much time left.
Well, it's true, kind of.
It's true. Like very sarcastic, which kind of funny, which I think I really enjoyed her character until like we just found out. I mean, I just found out last night that
And the finale.
the last episode that she is willing to kill her own son.
It points to that like throughout the whole show.
I did not get that at all.
She was like, they had flashbacks when he's a kid, and he like has that poker and is like threatening to kill Tony, like poke his eyes out and shit. Like she's always talking about someone killed their kids and stuff. And
I mean, I find that a little bit like, aggressive, but my mind never went to like how you would actually harm your own.
That's Livia, and yeah, I think like I was always like when I watched this when I was younger, it's like let's move past the mom stuff, but I find her scenes like the most fascinating.
It really is. It's absolutely funny until the end. I guess I don't know what to think of her. Do you think she regret? I don't even know. I mean, obviously the last episode she's just pretending that and don't want to acknowledge. I don't know if she like even is scared to admit. I don't know if she's even scared or feel bad that I don't think she feel bad, which is a problem.
All right, so you got the rest of the mafia, Paulie, Silvio, Big Pussy. I mean, there's not really much to say about them. There are a lot of comic relief. Big Pussy, he becomes more of a central character.
Where's Pussy?
Well, you don't know yet. You don't know if he's alive or dead.
Do you know?
Well, I don't know exactly, but I know the outcome. But yeah, they think Big Pussy is an informant. It turns out he might be, he might not be, but they have a Jimmy. Jimmy is the actual informant. Big Pussy disappears. They don't know what happened to him. That kind of puts Tony into depression towards the later of the season because they don't know if he's alive or dead. He's kind of regretting accusing him because he thinks he's obviously being accused because of Paulie's like not so subtle way of trying to find out if he's wired.
Take off your clothes.
Yeah.
Take your clothes off. You're fucking crazy. I'm going home. Why don't you want to take your clothes off?
Yeah, and the whole part with Artie Bucco, that's another season arc where Tony like burns down his house to keep Uncle Junior from killing someone in his restaurant to ruin his business. And and towards the end of the season, like the season finale, Livia tells him about that, so because she knows Tony's on to her, and to like go after Tony and hopefully kill him.
It's
Like
just
she's
ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It's like Lady Macbeth, Tony's mom is Lady Macbeth. So yeah, and there's a whole thing with Carmella and Father Phil, kind of like, will they, won't they?
But I think Carmella was very on point with her comment when she confront the father.
Yeah. And yeah, he is kind of like
He does, like she said, he enjoys the sexuality. He is turned on by the sexual tension.
He's honeypotting them, all of
them, yes. But I think he might be too. You think he's too afraid to like?
Yeah, and I think he's trying to like take out Tony in his own way too, because and this is just the thing I just picked up on watching it now is that he's Artie Bucco, he finds out about Tony. He's about to kill Tony, he doesn't, and then he goes to confess to Father Phil. And then Father Phil is like, you should probably tell your wife, but then his wife will probably call the cops and stuff, and then that's another way to take out Tony, because that's another way he could go to prison or something. I think it's his way of like getting rid of Tony. But then
so he can be with Carmella?
Maybe. I mean, that's how I saw it. He was kind of disappointed when Artie didn't do that. Like, he's kind of nudging him. It's like, tell your wife, and there's a chain reaction. So you didn't see that?
I did not.
I kind of like, I'm like, okay.
I just think he is odd, and he is always like planning his own something, and I don't trust him.
One of the better, what people consider one of the best episodes is College, where he takes Meadow to check out colleges, and then he finds a guy who went into the witness protection program who is in the Mayo crime family. And basically, that guy finds him. There's like this whole cat and mouse thing. Yes. And eventually Tony strangles him and then picks up Meadow like nothing ever happened. And then another big moment is like he admits that he's in the mafia to Meadow. So, I mean, she's not dumb. She knows and kind of confronts him about it. But yeah, do you think that was your favorite episode, or? I'm
not sure, but when we watched the episode, I did find that a little bit like not in the storyline. Like it's kind of like stand on its own type of thing.
And this, I mean, as a first season, this doesn't really, it's really introducing a lot of elements to it. I think the later seasons have become far more focused on like art, like a season arc. They'll introduce new characters and everything, but that's why it seems like so many episodes are like kind of one-offs, kind of self-contained.
Yeah, which I don't have a problem with, but like when you watch a big show, you kind of just wonder where this is going, or if you still be able to stay engaged, even though you still haven't really put it all together. I don't think I have a favorite episode. Like I said, my favorite part is freaking therapy session. That's when you realize, okay, this tough guy has like sensitive stuff, and you kind of see his growth. At the end, he volunteered to see Dr. Melfi in her car, and because he knows that he needs help and he needs to talk about it. Yeah, which is fucking great. And I want a therapist like that. But
she found out that maybe your mom is the one killing you.
I mean, I feel like subconsciously he knows, which is why he
that's why
so
he had those dreams
off.
And stuff, and they go further into that. Like there's like episodes dedicated to just his dreams. So
which I'll be looking forward to that, because obviously he has wild dreams. Can duck fly away with his penis?
I'm we didn't watch that either. I was kind of wanting to see a duck with Tony's penis flying on. So there's other things like looming indictment, informant, paranoia, Jimmy being the informant.
Me is not very good at being
an informant. He sucks. Like
as soon as he asked those questions, I'm like, Jimmy.
It's like let's have a meeting on stuff we already covered. Yeah, there's elements of Tony like growing from his therapy sessions, like the teacher who basically raped one of the students, and he was gonna kill him, but then basically just turned him into the police. And he comes back home, he's like high on his like pills and alcohol, and he's like, I didn't hurt anyone, like little things like that. Like you see the growth.
That's why I said I love him. I love this man so much because I think he does like fight with his own thoughts. Yeah. Like he everybody gets hot-headed and just want to punish the bad guy, and then people say things and gets.
Well, it's like the power trip thing. Like you watch a show like, and this is when I was like under 20 watching this. It's like I watch a show about mafia. I want to see like the power dynamic. I want him to kill everyone. But then this movie's like much deeper than that. And I love seeing scenes like this as my age now. Yeah. Junior okays Tony's assassination attempt. Mikey gets all excited because that means he's going to get a promotion. And
He doesn't look like he's gonna live for very long, anyways.
yeah, he's like that guy's like he's gonna die at the end of the season. I know. There's gonna be a lot of people like that, but yeah, Tony's in this depression. But
It's hard to watch.
yeah, well, Big Pussy goes missing. He regrets. It's like I fucked up, you know, and I'm depressed. And then the assassination attempt happens, and then it kind of rejuvenates him.
Yeah, he said every second he wanted,
Yeah.
he's trying to fight for his life.
Yeah, so let's talk about the finale a little bit. So it opens, they know Jimmy is an informant. They okay it with Junior. They kill Jimmy, blow his brains out. Yeah, there's a Tony assassination. He's trying to find out who trying to assassinate him.
Which, like, I find it kind of funny if they're gonna assassin someone so important. You're gonna think, hey, it's, you know, it's either happening right now or like you don't get a second chance.
Yeah.
And then they find two people that can't really shoot. Like they can't aim. They shoot the juice. And they have so many chances to actually end him.
Yeah. Well, you know, the oranges, Godfather. I told you that before.
Yeah,
I'm like, keep an eye on oranges. You know, someone's gonna die or get, you know, almost die. Okay, well, Mikey dies. He gets killed. Are you happy to see that?
It's kind of funny.
He's so loving to his wife, though. So
he's like, take some Midol.
Go take a Midol.
So it's confirmed to him that the FBI basically are trying to get him to become an informant, not become an informant, but like give up a bunch of stuff and go to the witness protection program. And basically they play him the recording that they had at her retirement home of Junior and plotting to kill him.
Yeah.
And that basically devastates him. He has to apologize to Dr. Melfi, tells her to leave because he don't know if they're going to try to get to her.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that Tony like heard the you know recorded. I would hate for him to like never know if, because his mother would never admit, and nobody's. Yeah. I doubt Junior will be like, you know, your mom's part of this too. And I would hate for him to like not knowing and like struggle with that. I think that would be very cruel. But I'm glad he heard those conversations and confirmed his you know suspicious.
Well, he was gonna kill Junior, but then the indictments came down. Junior is one of the people arrested. They say, you know, give up Tony. We know he's the real boss, you know, and he refuses.
It's like so proud, like have so much proud that refused to admit that Tony was running behind the scene.
And then he's gonna go to kill his mom, but then I think she fakes the stroke, and he's got that pillow ready. He's gonna suffocate his own.
Oh my God, I love this. I love this show.
I was watching like the beginning of David Chase's documentary. It just came out this year about his making of The Sopranos, and this is like a movie that he was going to make. A mafia guy who has mother issues, you see in a psychiatrist, and in the end, he's going to smother his mother with a pillow. And he's like, well, I could actually make a TV series out of this.
So glad. I am so glad, because I feel like, I mean, I don't doubt the movie was going to be great anyways, but it's like spread out to like a very lengthy series. You actually take time to build characters, and each one of them, none of them are like portrayed as just a cold-hearted, you know, gangster. Like they all have their personal struggles and personalities. Everybody's different, and that's what I love about the show the most, is that it really gave like color and texture to each character. None of them are the same. What's better than a gangster that has feelings?
Yeah.
And
this show was really revolutionary in that way. Like, you know, we have shows like this all the time now. Like we had The Penguin now, we had Breaking Bad, we had, well, it's like the anti-hero who, you know, you want to root for, you know, they're a piece of shit, but you want to root for them and stuff. This was the first that did, like one of the first at least. The one that really blew up. But so it ends with, you know, they all go to Artie Bucco's restaurant. He doesn't get to kill his mom. He doesn't get to kill Junior. And it's basically like a nice, you know, everything culminating into that scene where he's with his family. Silvio and Paulie are there. Christopher with his girlfriend.
They got back together.
Yeah, and that's how it ends. And
it's interesting that you know, it's storming outside and it's like crazy chaotic outside, while they get to hide in a inside restaurant. And then he's like making a toast that, you know, no matter how chaotic, you know, of a life we're living, you know, we need to appreciate moments like this.
Good job, babe. So I'll just go into how I feel about the show, like watching this like over 20 years later. One thing I noticed is like this feels much more like a comedy than a drama.
Oh
to
my
me
god,
now.
that's true. It's so funny. You
It's
didn't find
hilarious.
it very funny? Like,
I did, but like seeing it now is like it's very funny. It's like half comedy, half
really
drama
is,
to me.
yeah.
So I'll go into, it's a little political, but toxic masculinity of this show. So this wasn't like really a thing 20 years ago to me. And that's how I didn't really idolize these people, but I'm like, this is so fucking cool. I wish I was in the mafia and stuff. But seeing it now, it's like it's pretty sad because Tony is depressed, Christopher is depressed, and then they try to. They're trying to like talk to each other in that one scene in the car together. Well, he was because they kept like talking about the mafia in the newspaper and they weren't mentioning his name, and he was like feeling like he's useless and stuff. And then they have like this him and Tony in the car, but they can't like admit to each other how they're feeling because of their their masculinity.
Like, couples therapy or something.
Yeah, and it's like it's so frustrating but kind of funny at the same time. And then it's like they can't confide to each other. And another aspect is Junior when he goes to see his lover and he goes down on her, and then they find out, it leaks to everybody, and basically he has to cut off like this great relationship he has with this woman just because he went down on her. He performed cunnilingus,
Even Tony did that, right?
Yep,
and he's like, we need to, what happens?
You don't talk about that.
What happens in the bedroom stays in the bed.
A big deal now, but it's very tragic. Like why he did to that poor woman, like put a pie in her face and stuff.
God.
And he's sacrificing that happiness because he's the boss, but it's things like that I saw in this.
So you don't want to be a mafia boss?
Nah, I'm sure they're okay with it now, but admitting that. Okay, so your overall thoughts and rating for the season 1 of The Sopranos?
I mean, I feel like I've already said a lot about my thoughts on this. Like, honestly, I love that the mafia is already pretty fascinating element of the show, and I love that they put a lot of time and effort into building the character to make them not only look tough but also show a lot about their personal struggles, and I just love it. God, it's a 5 out of 5 TV show for me.
I'll go 4.5. I really love this show. I think it does have some, with first episodes, first seasons, everything it's trying to like find its footing of what this show is going to be, and I think it finds it pretty quick in this. But I've seen the next seasons, and I know a lot of the seasons get better.
Does it get better?
I think it does. I mean, there's some weaker seasons, but there's some pretty weak episodes. But in the future, I know what's to come, and it really gets its own like style and everything. It gets its identity more in the next season.
And I mind weak episodes or weak seasons.
Yeah. And there's some
can just be like
incredible episodes to come. So so one last thing, I'd like to hear some of what your thoughts or your predictions are for season 2, just for fun.
Have predictions.
Just for fun. Where do you think this show's going? What do you think will happen to Tony's mom, or Uncle Junior, or Tony, or Big Pussy, or?
I don't know. Big Pussy is obviously not dead. That's what I know. I'm looking forward to seeing Tony and Dr. Melfi.
Okay.
Not really necessarily. I mean, I'm not like crazy. I think they should be together.
Yeah, you are.
No, I think I would just like to see their dynamic evolving. I guess like I'm looking to see where it goes. I'm not saying that I feel like they should be together. Maybe they will have some type of fling. I don't know, but I like them. I like their own stories. Carmella, you think she's gonna have a boy toy?
I guess we'll find out. Not Father Phil, huh?
No, Father Phil is kind of a creep. I think why she liked him in the first place is that she feel like she can open up herself to him, and then she kind of get turned off by the idea when she saw Father Phil went touchy on Jackie's wife.
Yeah.
And
Sees his manipulative nature of like getting his rocks off, but not really getting his rocks off.
whatever. Fucking weird ass dude. But there was an episode of them together, you remember?
Yeah, that was a college episode.
Oh, that was a college episode?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why they were together. And I find that episode, I guess I find that part very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That it's like they're all almost gonna do something.
Yeah.
And she was pretty pissed off, I think, at the end that nothing happened. She was like annoyed.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like Father Phil anyways.
Tony is gonna be boss.
Is that a statement, or are you asking me if I think Tony's gonna be boss?
Well, I mean, Uncle Junior's in jail, so who's next? He's basically boss anyway.
I feel like it's kind of hard to be boss because when you
He didn't want to be boss. That's why.
Yeah, like once you're the actual boss, then you're the target.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Poor Tony. I mean, fuck. I don't know. I hope he takes care of his mental health.
He had a family will. The Sopranos, a new series from HBO, coming soon.
Yeah, so that was Penny's first impression of the first season of The Sopranos. If you want to see more of Penny watching Sopranos, you should definitely subscribe and hit that bell icon. You never know when she's gonna be watching Sopranos. It's gonna fall on YouTube, so you get notified. So let us know what you thought of Penny's thoughts of The Sopranos. Let us know what you think of The Sopranos in the comments below, and hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll see you later.